Cassandra's heart raced with disbelief as she stared at the ultrasound screen. What she saw shattered her perception of her beloved pet snake. She had brought Reggie to the vet, suspecting he might be ill or experiencing an unusual behavior, but the reality was far worse than anything she had imagined. In the quaint and tranquil town of Bar Harbor, everyone knew each other's name and business, and gossip spread like wildfire. The streets were lined with charming houses, well-kept gardens, and friendly faces. So when Cassandra, a solitary woman in her mid-30s with a penchant for privacy, moved into the neighborhood with an enormous python named Reggie, the whispers began almost immediately. People couldn't comprehend why anyone would choose to live with such an unusual companion, and concern for their own safety grew. A snake was an ideal companion for her modest home, as it required minimal care and didn't incessantly bark like her neighbor's tiny dog. Moreover, it hadn't caused any disturbances so far. Reggie had never made any attempt to hurt her or any of the guests that came to visit. If only her neighbors would cease their incessant, unwarranted cautioning. In an effort to strengthen their bond and prove her devotion to Reggie, Cassandra decided to take their relationship to the next level. She began sleeping with Reggie curled around her body, a living, breathing blanket that stretched from her head to her toes. Night after night, the two would curl up together in Cassandra's bed, Reggie's steady, rhythmic breathing lulling her into a deep, peaceful sleep, unlike anything she had ever experienced before. As the weeks went on, however, Cassandra noticed a troubling change in Reggie's behavior. He no longer showed interest in the meals she offered him, whether it was fresh chicken or even his favorite rabbit. One morning his behavior was extremely concerning to her. What was going on? Throughout the day, Reggie remained on her bed, refusing to eat and displaying more agitation than usual, especially when Cassandra attempted to move him back to the vivarium. Concerned for his well-being and fearing that something might be seriously wrong, Cassandra decided to take him to the local veterinarian, Dr. Hansen, a middle-aged man known for his calm demeanor and expertise in treating exotic animals. There was undoubtedly something amiss with her beloved companion. He conducted a series of tests, including blood work and an X-ray. As the veterinarian performed the ultrasound, his forehead furrowed into a frown and he looked at his assistant. This caused Cassandra's heart to race with anxiety. What could he possibly be observing? The veterinarian then inquired about a series of topics concerning the snake, including its feeding and sleeping patterns. At that point, Cassandra divulged their nightly bonding ritual. "Cassandra, I'm afraid I have some unsettling news," he said, trying to maintain his composure. He decided to show her the ultrasound. When he presented the ultrasound results, Cassandra was unable to comprehend what she was looking at. The python's stomach appeared entirely empty, leaving Cassandra puzzled about the issue. The veterinarian inquired if the snake typically stretched out along her body and coiled around her as she lay in bed. Cassandra nodded, affirming, "Well, yes. You see," the vet continued, "Reggie's stomach is completely empty, which is highly unusual for a python of his size. I believe he's been preparing his body for a large meal, and that's why he hasn't been eating." Cassandra couldn't believe it. But what could he possibly be preparing to eat? "I've tried offering him various foods, and he's refused them all," she stuttered desperately. Dr. Hansen hesitated, glancing at the massive python before locking eyes with Cassandra. His voice was heavy with concern as he said, "Miss Turner, I think Reggie has been sizing you up as his prey." By stretching out alongside Cassandra, the python had actually been assessing her dimensions. Essentially, Reggie was rehearsing how to approach his next substantial meal. He had been biding his time, waiting for the ideal moment to capture his prey.